Distribution fees. Sentech has already pulled the plug on 17 stations. The stations owe Sentech over 30 million rand. There are 134 community radio stations on the Sentech platform, and of those, only 26 are in good standing.
Community radio stations, at times the only source of information for some communities. What happens now when that platform is discontinued?
Community media in radio and television needs an annual grant so that sort of forms the foundation for operations of the station, and then advertising and sponsorship and everything else then becomes addition to that.
For stations such as Hope FM, Karabo FM and Forte FM, the plug has already been pulled and they are now off air. This due to hundreds of thousands of rands over unpaid signal distribution fees owed to Sentech.
By the end of November, we had 94 of those community broadcasters in arrears, and we had to send out a notice indicating that we have been communicating on a monthly basis requiring that they service their debt. However, that had not happened, so we gave them a final notice of demand indicating that we would switch off should they fail to be able to make those payments.
Some radio stations say they've made payment arrangements which have since been declined.
There has been some proposals that have been brought forward from Sentech's side as well, and there have been some agreements that have been reached around the payment arrangements.
As non-profit entities, community radio stations are expected to raise their own funds through advertising, sponsorship and fundraising.
Advertising becomes the main source of income for a lot of stations, but if you're a rural station in a small town, raising money through advertising is very, very difficult.
The Department of Communication is expected to meet with the affected radio stations to find a way forward. And for now, the waiting game begins for the thousands who rely on community radio stations for information. Lopang Alamu, SABC News, Johannesburg.